You know what's crazy is some of you weren't even alive when this moment happened, but 12 years ago today, Armando Galarraga had his perfect game stolen by a blown call over at first base. I really wish that Major League Baseball would have done something about this and set the precedent, because if this happened in 2022, the replay would have fixed it. So I still feel bad 12 years later. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. Another game of the year candidate happened in Colorado. The Giants blew a lead in Philly, which really annoyed me because I put $100 on the Giants. And Trey Turner as well as Paul Goldschmidt, yeah, they're continuing to rake. They both up their hitting streaks. If you're going to any baseball games or concerts, please, for the love of baby Jesus, save yourself $20 off on SeatGeek and use that $20 to buy a hot dog or something else, maybe a hat or a t-shirt. Now, before we talk about the games from yesterday, I want to discuss Josh Donaldson. He spoke on the TA7 situation again. If you don't remember, Josh Donaldson called TA7 Tim Anderson Jackie in reference to an article that came out where Tim Anderson called himself Jackie. Either way, Aaron Boone and Aaron Judge came out and said that Josh Donaldson should have just kept his mouth shut and not gone into that territory. And then Donaldson came out yesterday and said, I kind of felt bad that none of my teammates defended me. They could have said I'm not the R word, but instead they just left it at, hey, Josh shouldn't have said that. And that was it. So he kind of felt like his teammates didn't have his back. So let me know in the comment section down below. Did Josh deserve to be defended, or is this one of those, hey, learn from this and don't ever say anything like that ever again? We have a crazy doubleheader to talk about between the Marlins and the Rockies. And in game number one, ooh, this was all Miami. Jazz and Edward Cabrera put the Rockies in a stranglehold as Jazz rips an RBI single and then goes 404 feet for this 3-run nuke. Garcia makes it 5-0 for Edward. Just kidding. It is now obviously 8-0 after that onslaught of the offense. Edward Cabrera had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning. It got ruined, unfortunately, by the jerk, CJ Cron. Just kidding. I love CJ Cron. In that game, he struck out Brendan Rodgers with a 96-mile-per-hour changeup, which is the hardest thrown changeup to strike out someone in the history of Major League Baseball. He ends up with 9 punch-outs, and this is why the Marlins can be terrifying here soon. If Sixto Sanchez can get healthy, and they call it Max Meyer, they're going to have Sandy Alcantara, Sixto Sanchez, Pablo Lopez, Trevor Rogers, Edward Cabrera, and Jesus Luzardo. Like, that is a deep 1-through-6 punch pretty much. Miami wins game 1 with ease, scoring another 6 runs to close it out for a solid day at the office. Yeah, 14-1. It was so bad that the Rockies didn't even want to post the box score on Twitter. They just drew 25 instead, this little meme. Now, game number 2, buckle in for this one, possibly the game of the year. Brendan Rodgers belts one off of Trevor Rogers, so that gives him a 20-game hitting streak. No one is talking about that, including me. I just didn't know. Brian Serven has a single, but the Marlins actually fight to take the lead in the 3rd, and that was until Ryan McMahon becomes the man yet again. He triples home 3. He clears the bases, and guess what happened? Yep, the Rockies blow the lead yet again, so it's 7-5 Miami going into the 5th inning, and my goodness, the Rockies teed off. Rodgers hit his 2nd home run of the game, and McMahon clutches up again. So now it's tied when Garrett Hampson and CJ Cron combine to drive in 3 more RBIs, so it's 10-7. This game is out of, no, it's not. The Marlins take note of what is happening, and they claw back yet again. So this one is back and forth. That ends up tied after 9 innings. So we head to extras. And no freaking way. Brendan Rodgers said, I'm that dude. His 3rd home run of the day wins it in the 10th. So in the same day, he had 3 home runs in 1 single game. He has a 20-game hitting streak. And over his last 142 games, he's got 30 doubles, 20 home runs, and a 330-ish on-base percentage. He's been pretty solid. So I tip my cap to Brendan Rodgers, one of the best games of the year for an offensive player. The final walk-off from yesterday came in the Brewers and Cubs game. Christopher Morel attempts to steal 3rd and ends up scoring on a throwing error. Patrick Wisdom grounds into a double play, but that scores a run in the process. Milwaukee, just like Miami, they stormed back between the 3rd and the 5th innings, but it wasn't enough as Wilson Contreras ties it up in the 5th, and then it stays tied until later innings, and we need free baseball extra innings. The rookie, Christopher Morel, lifts a sac fly to score Jason Hayward, who just got activated off of the IL. The Cubs are such a fun team to watch, and that is a walk-off for the young rookie. I like watching them play. Speaking of like watching them play, I love this 2022 Guardian squad. So Rosario brings in the 1st run of the game for the Guards, and Connor Pilkington worked around a bases loaded jam in the 4th, and also he had 7 strikeouts in those first 4 innings, so he was dialed in. He got some more help offensively from Andres Jimenez, who scores Owen Miller for his 25th RBI, and he also has an insane 2.1 WAR already. Shout out to Pilkington one more time. 5 shutout. I don't know how he did that with 8 strikeouts. We got him in a trade essentially for free last year in a trade to the White Sox. We gave away Cesar Hernandez and we got Connor Pilkington, who has been really good to start his career. Palacios doubles home Jimenez, and again, I just love this team. They're young, they're scrappy, they're fun to watch. Now, if we're going to talk about the Guardians and the Royals, let's talk about the Tigers and the Twins. Jonathan Scope stays hot with an RBI singy, and the Tigers were gifted a run by the Twins' error to go up 2-0. Scratch that, it's 4-0 after a 2-run double from Harold Castro. He has been red hot lately, and same with Jonathan Scope. He delivers again with an RBI 2-bagger. And enter Tarek Skubal. This kid might be my favorite pitcher to watch in all of baseball. Just the pace in which he throws, the arm angle, the stuff. He tosses 7 scoreless with 6 more strikeouts. He's sitting at a 2.15 ERA and a 2.02 FIP. He was drafted in the 9th round back in 2018, so good for him. That is an absolute steal by the Detroit Tigers. Another shutout. We actually have back-to-back shutouts to talk about. Cookie was on the bump for the Mets, and this was the first time his father was ever in attendance. He gave his dad a scare, walking the bases loaded after just not being able to find the zone, but he gets the strikeout to get out of that jam. Tomas Nido hits a screamer up the middle, hits so hard it's booted by the center fielder, and that allows a second run to score. Cookie goes 5 shutout, and I've used this term before. He was wild, but effectively wild. Lindor's sac fly in the 7th gives him a little bit of history. He became the second Mets player ever to have an RBI, and wait for it, 10 consecutive games. I can't believe that was even happening behind the scenes and I didn't know about it. Nido grabs 2 more RBIs on his 4th hit of the day, and this Mets team is 2nd in team OPS and 10th in team ERA. Just wait until they get DeGoe and Scherzer back. The Braves and the Diamondbacks, Arizona was shut out as William Contreras plates an RBIs for his 14th. He's batting a cool 302 as well. Another young guy making an impact, Michael Harris goes lefty-lefty for an RBI double, and Kyle Wright has been so good since the beginning of that 2021 postseason run. He collects another gem after 6 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts, but he walked 5, so that command, it can still use some work. Austin Riley and Harris, they wanted to go home. They made sure that no comeback could be made. That's a 3-run pimp job for Austin Riley, and Harris saves McHugh with a sensational grab in center field. And just like the Phillies, I'm going to talk about them in a second. Can the Braves overcome a 10-plus game deficit? The Mets are too good to catch for first place, so maybe they can grab a wild card spot. Let me know in the comment section down below. I almost said down in the comment section, but I guess someone got mad at me for saying that once upon a time. But the Cardinals and the Padres faced off. Juan Yepes lifts a sac fly to tie it up for Dakota Hudson, and then Goldie extends his hit streak to 23 games. We'll talk about Trey after this one. Nolan Arenado says, thanks for getting on base, buddy. Smokes a 2-run shot, and Dakota is very thankful as well. He has 1 run in 7 innings, and then Arenado grabs RBI number 3 on his 3rd hit of the day as Yepes continues to rake a 131 OPS plus on the year as the Cardinals sweep the Padres. In that game, I just want to mention, Robinson Cano flew out with the bases loaded. That was his final at-bat as a member of the Padres. He was released as the Rockies call up Nomar Mazar to fill that roster spot. So is Robinson Cano done in Major League Baseball? That could be his final stop. Now, because we talked about Paul Goldschmidt, let's talk about the Dodgers. Van Meter drives in the Pirates' first of 8 runs, so they win easy, but I got to show this real quick. Trey and Goldie are fighting for them streaks. Trey is still ahead at 24 games. Of course, Paul Goldschmidt is at 23 games. White and Quintana were battling through 4, and Brian Reynolds was not having it anymore. He rips his 8th home run of the year. He puts his team up by a few, and he kept them there. Look at this throw. Lux can fly, so if you can throw out Gavin Lux from center field, you know you have a cannon. Rodolfo, more like Rodolfo, he used all of the launch angle on this one to belt it 413 feet. Chavis has an RBI on an infield single, and Castro got greedy. So that's a 4 RBI day, which is good for me because I've pulled a ton of his rookie cards, so I might be selling him off pretty soon. And also for fun, there's Mookie hitting his 16th home run. I knew that Cole Irvin was going to be shredding yesterday. He only allowed 1 single run on a little bloop in the 3rd, but he was facing JV, Justin Verlander, who had a no-hitter through 7 innings. Andrus ruins it and ties it on 1 swing, and then Bethancourt stuns everyone with a 2-run home run. That made the Astros angry, though, because they got a bunch of base runners on in the 9th, and the usually dependable Jimenez implodes. He walks in a run, and then the next guy serves it up to Jordan as Jordan doubles in 3 runs to win it. Presley allows a run, so it's close, but he squeaks past it as the Astros win 5-4 in a sweep of the A's. Now, this next game is a doozy, but let's just get into it. Rhys Hoskins and Nick Maton drive in a few RBIs on some singles, but Maton's was kind of more fun because it's a bunt, and we don't really see that too often. Nola was cruising, but his problem has always been the 5th inning and beyond, and yet again, that trend showed its ugly head. Nola implodes. He allows 5 earned runs in the 6th inning, and speaking of imploding, this a-hole, Garcia, allowed 2 home runs, 1 to Nick Maton, another to Kyle Schwarber. He lost me $100 in the blink of an eye. I don't even know how Schwarber was able to get this to leave. He kind of threw his bat at it. But yeah, there's the comeback as Knievel earns his 9th save. So can the Phillies come back from a 12.5 game deficit from the Mets? Again, they're going to have to go for a wild card spot as well. The Orioles and the Mariners, Rougned Odor demolishes this 3-run home run, and he knew it as soon as it left the bat. Austin Hayes, he gets the scoring started again on a single in the 5th, and look at this monster blast. Ryan Mountcastle and Ramon Urias defeat the wall in left field, that dreaded new wall that is never going away anytime soon, at least according to the Orioles. There's another RBI extra base hit, this time from Cedric Mullins, and Trey Mancini mashes the 3rd tater of the inning, and he is very quietly hitting 308 with a 133 OPS plus. Hunter Green was a K machine against the Red Sox yesterday. He struck out 8 in just under 4 innings, but the Red Sox torched him for 4 earned runs. They all came in one single inning, the 4th. As Xander Bogaerts and Verdugo both double. Xander gets 1 RBI, Verdugo grabs 2. And there's an RBI for Jackie Bradley Jr. So that's a 4 spot for the Warlock, aka Garrett Whitlock, one of the best Rule 5 picks ever in my opinion. He tossed 6 shutout on 70 pitches, but the crazy part is he has a 10 strikeouts per 9 pretty much for his career. He did not strike out a single hitter that entire start. So if you're a Boston fan, are you concerned? Either way, JBJ runs into another pitch, this time with the bases loaded as the Red Sox win easy 7-1. Now another team that scored 7 runs, the Toronto Blue Jays. You guys want to hear a scary sentence? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. homered in the same game that the Blue Jays won their 7th consecutive game. So yeah, that's terrifying in my opinion, but we'll get there in a second as Espinal leads it off with a bomb. Bo takes 4 balls and is given a free RBI, and that's right before Mike Piazza. I mean, Danny Jansen goes yard. That 3-run laser beam was his 7th homer of the year. He's only had 48 plate appearances, so he's averaging pretty much 1 home run every 7 plate appearances. That is insane. And like I mentioned, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. belts a long 2-run bomb to push the lead to 7-3. And even with a slow start, he still has 10 home runs and a 131 OPS plus. The Jays are 29-20, just 5 games back of the Yankees who are playing right now. The Rays and the Rangers, the final game. Nate Lowe turned into Anakin on this one. He had 2 baseballs thrown at his head, and then he unleashed his rage on this youngling. I mean, baseball. He yelled at the pitcher after that, like, that's what you get for throwing at my effing head. John Gray was electric, striking out 12 in 7 innings. His first run came as Randy hit his 5th dong of the year, and Harold Ramirez completes the comeback with an RBI single. Both teams trade runs in the 10th, and then the Rays reclaim the lead again in the 11th on a Choi double. I, for some reason, put $100 on the Rangers to make the comeback because Simeon, Seager, and Jonah Heim are all coming up. Jonah Heim has been insanely clutch to begin his career, but of course I lost that. So the Giants and the Rangers, my stupidity got to me as the Rays win 4-3. Now, to end today's video, I want to go ahead and say thank you to Mason. He wanted me to call out B-Craw, Brandon Crawford. You know what? Let's do that because he's hitting 205 with the 558 OPS over the last 2 weeks, so it is definitely time. He needs to pick it up for the Giants. And without further ado, to end today's video, let's show the rest of the web gems. Thank you guys all so much for the support, but enjoy the gems.
Ground ball right side, Wong dives, gets up, throws to first, got him! Outstanding play by the Gold Glover, Colton Wong.
Yeah, terrific. I mean, nobody does that.
1-1 for Mitch White. He slaps it to right towards the corner. That's a long way to go. He'll track it down.
Getting to 2 strikes.
First pitch swinging. Mateo in the shift. Sliding stop. My goodness, man.
They got the shift on, and then, of course, what kind of agility do you have? Can you get to it? What kind of...
Why not? Fly ball to shallow left. The swing, I think, fooled some, and out there to make the play.
1-2. That one not a ground ball. That one hit well. Out to deep left center. Yaz all the way back. He'll leap, and he caught it up against the wall.
League MVP.
This one lined out into right field. That's a base hit to start the inning. Diaz going for 2. Here comes a throw. And did they get him? They did.
Yeah, I'm watching the rise, and I wouldn't say I'm shocked because I'm hardly surprised. This one's for the ride. This one's for who knew I'd make it, just needed some time. This one's for my wife. Could have left 1,000 times just about my side. This one's for the grind. I knew it would happen.